We are about to start the finals of CombatCon 2016. First event is the cutting finals. Carl Bole of Capital KDF. This is the moving tatame round.
The challenge is the fighter might have to adjust his footwork before delivering a solid cut, which should still cleave through the tatami cleanly to get full points. One miss. 2 hits. 3 hits. 4 hits. Miss. Very challenging. He adjusted quickly after the first miss and made solid connections after that. Managed to get 4 successful cuts, I believe.
Excellent cutting from this competitor. This is extremely difficult to alter your footwork while throwing a cut. Made all the more challenging by the fact that you are holding a sharp sword, moving with it across the floor.
In the background, Shawn Franklin is preparing. Shawn Franklin from Blood and Iron is a very good cutter, as we've seen in previous competitions. He's also one of the organizers of this event for the cutting and the tournaments as well.
And Shawn Franklin is next up.
One cut, 2 cuts, 3 cuts,
4 cuts,
1 miss, 4 cuts, 5, 6, 7.
6 cuts I counted with 1 miss.
Very successful.
Excellent performance by Shawn Franklin.
He was able to adjust his footing very fast, small steps.
Extremely. He took very small steps, which made it easy for him to adjust his footwork quickly.
But notice he didn't take any swings when he was out of range.
Nope. And our next competitor is a defending champion of CombatCon cutting, Jaime Keen, who is cutting with a cold steel sharp sword.
Which he has sharpened himself, I'm sure.
Yes, he did. RJ
1,
also.
2, 3, miss. 4, miss. 1 hit. 3. I count 4, maybe 5 successful cuts.
Yes. I am coming to terms with the fact that the men pulling the moving tatami mats may be some of the bravest men I've ever met in my life.
Oh my gosh, I don't want that job.
Next up is Tim Magnuson of Cron South Coast.
He's using a slightly larger cold steel,
Awesome.
Apparently.
Yes. Fighter readies. Mark.
He moves not quick enough. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not quite through. I would say 2 successful cuts.
2 successful
1
cuts.
halfway through.
Yes.
Very difficult, as you can see, which makes Shawn and Carl's performance.
For those of us just joining us, this is the cutting finals of CombatCon 2016. Stepping onto the mat to get ready to cut is Carl Bole of Capital Kunstfechten.
Nice.
Next we move on to the uneven mats. In the second round, the uneven mats are when the fighter has to cut through 2 tatami mats at uneven levels. Now the fighters are allowed 1 change of stands where they're able to reverse the stands in another direction to make another cut possible. Assuming that their first cut did successfully penetrate both mats.
There's a different kind of pressure in cutting tournaments, it seems. It's more of a zen focus needed than the intensity of a tournament.
Indeed. You're fighting an opponent. Here, you're fighting yourself.
Clean, clean, clean. 3 cuts.
Excellent cuts by the competitor.
1 with an upward angle. He's requesting a turn. Now he's going to perform a downward or upward. Oh, downward. Clean.
Performs a clean Zornhau, followed by an Unterhau, successfully cutting through all the mats. Excellent cutting.
Wow, super impressive. The other competitors will have to perform very well to top that.
Indeed.
I have no doubt that some of them can, though. This is going to be a tough round to judge. And we have as our judges today Lee Smith and Jeremy Luce from Cron. Lee Smith is from Blood and Iron, of course, in Canada. I'm sorry, I don't know the names of the other panelists. I believe one to the right is from Blood and Iron.
They're both from Blood and Iron.
Okay.
But of course, this is Vegas, so Jeremy's in there. We had to throw a little California in the mix.
California.
All the Phoenix guys are too busy fighting in the finals, so
Several of them.
So next competitor, Shawn Franklin, takes to the mat.
I believe he probably invented this exercise.
He may well have. Let's find out if he's perfected it.
One cut.
Clean through both tatami.
Two.
Also clean.
This work. I'm not sure if you took any off the...
Shield house.
Oh, you're right,
shield
you're
house.
You're right.
Fighters, by the way, one note, fighters are not allowed to throw the same cut twice, which is why they have to change the angles of the mats. The first cut, he threw a Zornhau. The second cut, Unterhau. The third cut, a Shielhau. It seems to be Zornhau from the other direction. Indeed.
Both mats. He is just skinning this thing as many cuts as he can get.
Oh. And his final Unterhau does not penetrate all the way.
I'm not sure if they're going to give him the full points for that. Probably not.
He lines up for a third cut. And he throws a Mezzano.
Very
and
cool.
Mittelhau. Mezzano for us Italians all the way through. Excellent cutting by Shawn Franklin.
So far, it's going to be very close.
Indeed.
Jaime Keen is preparing.
Now, what do you know about the targets they're cutting through? I know they're called tatame mats, but what are they made of?
They're made of, I understand, bamboo mats. And this was originally done in Japan to test the sharpness of swords, as well as later the technique to follow through, blade alignment.
Excellent.
But we have borrowed it for Western martial arts.
Now, the tatame aren't...
RJ is up and he's getting ready.
Jaime Keen is getting ready to take the mat.
He's looking at the
tatame are tightly rolled grass fibers, as I said. And they're also soaked in water. The reason for the tatame is because they approximate the rigidity and the toughness of flesh. They're a close approximation.
RJ's getting ready. The judges appear to be doing some preparation.
So we're waiting for the scoring table here. Judges preparing. Fighter waiting for the call from the table to approach.
He's taking his time.
Stance with his cold steel sword.
One cut, clean. Take your time. I think he only got one. He's not taking his time.
And Shielhau makes it all the way through cleanly.
Very nice. He requests a rotation.
The Shielhau is a false edge cut. Let's see.
Appears to be doing a reverso. Makes it
Overhau
halfway
from
through
the
the
other direction.
second.
Doesn't penetrate the second tatame.
Oh. Cuts through the first one. The second mat is sent flying. He says, that's enough. That's all I can do. Very nice cuts.
Body mechanics behind your cut. Complete cutting arts. Complete follow through. Balance. Not falling over. Not overcorrecting your swings. Not hitting the floor.
If you hit the stand, I believe it's very penalized.
Penalized for hitting the stand, I believe, as well as if you overswing and strike the floor.
Obviously, not cutting all the way through a mat would be less score than.
Indeed.
And our next competitor, Tim Magnuson.
Tim Magnuson of South Coast Swords.
One cut, clean.
First swing.
Descending.
Oberhau or Fendente all the way through.
Unterhau makes it through the first, but not the second.
Not the second mat. Third cut. See if he adopts the shield how, the false edge cut, the rest half. Oh, he asks for the mats to be turned.
He gets one of those, but might be wise.
One of our lovely judges turns the mats for him.
1.5.
1.5.
Descending, he's running out of tatami. He's going to try middle how, under how.
Nope.
One mat knocked out.
Again, Tim Magnuson cutting with the sharp, cold steel sword.
I believe based on the performance, we can guess who the top two will be. But
Indeed.
I don't know what the other standings would be, or the order of the top two. It's simply
Don't
too
forget,
close.
we're not done yet.
Uh-oh.
Uh-huh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-huh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-huh.
Uh-oh.
Now, this is where it gets tricky, as if the previous events are tricky enough. The fighters setting the stand in stands that are set up at approximately arm's width distant. The infamous double cut.
The competitors are being understandably picky about their alignment.
Now, the requirements for this double cut, is you have to cut through the mat once, and then before the mat falls, make a follow-up cut through the same mat.
I've seen it done. I can't claim to do it myself.
I've tried it with water bottles and failed.
He's given the go. All right. Carl approaches. One cut, two cut. Oh, I think he missed it. One cut, two cut. He got that one.
Excellent cutting motor.
Nice.
Second Tommy, he goes through it twice before it falls, and that's what we want to see.
Well done. Nice spike on that one.
Excellent job spiking. Beautifully laid. This will definitely make. Excellent. Competitor states he is satisfied with the appearance of his match.
Shawn Franklin readies. Takes his time. Oh. He rushed the second swing a little burst, but he did get through both. The first tatami, the second appeared to be a miss.
Failed to make a second cut on the second tatami.
But I would say that our competitors so far appear to be in that last cut.
And RJ takes to the tarp.
Approaches approximately 2 steps away, or one passing step.
Throwing it.
One pass, cut, miss.
Again. First mat, successfully cut through both. Second, failed to cut all the way through before the mat fell. The wooden spikes sticking out of the stands, which jam into hopefully as close to possible as you can get to the center of the tatami mat, which will hold it up stiffly. However, it is not so stiff that it is not easy to knock down. As we have seen, if the blade does not penetrate completely, the mat will fall over. Or if there's a flaw in your edge alignment.
Tim approaches. Oh, does not make it through.
He fails to make it the first mat.
And this is the second.
And he's not able to cut through the second mat. For those at home watching, thinking this is a strength issue,
the participants have to follow the signals of the judges.
Indeed.
About the various types and angles of the cut being requested by the judges. If they get the wrong cut, that would be penalized.
So they not only have to follow the signals, they have to perform whatever cut the judge calls for on the mat, with however much mat they have left. Lee Smith with a absolutely gigantic knife trimming the spike for this.
He asked for a big knife.
I see now what Lee Smith considers a big knife. I should have expected no less.
He's satisfied with the sharpness. Respike.
And the judge wisely chooses to select another tatame. This one looks relatively straight. Oh, excellent spike. Again, sometimes it's just the luck of the tatame.
He appears to have an Albion, I believe. I'm not sure what the
It
model
does look
name
like
is.
an Albion arming sword. And the judge will give signals with flags.
Call approaches. One. Change it up to the left. Descending. It's 4 cuts. Last one did not go through. 3. Sorry. 5.
Now another Winter House,
6.
or a Satano, a rising cut. And a descending cut, Zornheim.
The last one was successful. Oh, he knocks
The
one
last
out.
one does not penetrate them out of the way.
That was the last one's clean. Miss.
And the last cut is a miss.
Very well done.
Excellent cutting performance. Penetrating a mat with a single hand sword is very challenging. You don't have the torque of your second hand, of your offhand, to lever the blade through the tatame. It all comes from your shoulder, arm, and rotation of the body, as well, of course, as the flexion of the wrist.
And frankly, a lot of people don't practice it as much, so they may not be as practiced in this particular style. But I believe these particular competitors may have been preparing.
They have.
It's ridiculous.
All right, and Shawn Franklin stepping up, preparing to see what he can do with the single hand sword. And the semaphores begin, waiting for the call from the director.
Descending.
cut. Another descending cut.
From the opposite angle.
Rising cut
does not
fails to
make it
penetrate.
through. Rising the other way knocks off the tatame. Oh, that's
Unfortunately,
unfortunate.
removes the tatame.
Descending does not penetrate. Rising does.
All the way through.
Wow. And knocks it off. Very well done. That is a challenging exercise as well.
Just to put things into perspective, all these people are tired from having fought in tournaments for the last 3 days.
All weekend.
All weekend long. Their sword arms have seen their share of use. So truly, fighting yourself truly is the order of the day with this event, because you are fighting your own fatigue at this point, having already done the cutting tournament to get to this point, as well as they have all fought in numerous other events.
Shawn in particular has shown a lot of stamina in preparing all of the tournaments, judging a lot, fighting a lot, cutting.
Not to mention rolling the tatame mats. And stepping up to the plate is Jaime Keen of South Coast Swords, Kron South Coast.
He has a cold steel man-at-arms arming sword.
A relatively newcomer to the line of sharp swords by Cold Steel.
Uppercut,
A rising cut
Under
fails
foul.
to penetrate.
descending, and the right is successful. Descending successful.
Ooh,
That was clean. Very nice.
Keep your feet, RJ. Very
Nice.
nice cut by RJ.
Now he's using every inch of that tatame he can.
RJ has excellent aim with the tatame mat.
We did the last one, but that was a lot of cuts.
That was a lot of excellent cutting by RJ.
A lot of
McKeon.
cuts. Excellent job, RJ.
And that's RJ demonstrating his skill and demonstrating why he is the defending champion of this cutting tournament.
Indeed.
And spiking tatame for our final competitor, who will be Tim Magnuson of South Coast.
calculating scores.
So the judges are calculating the scores right now.
Tim approaches carefully. Semaphores begin. Underhow.
Interhow fails to penetrate. Another interhow also fails to
It's
penetrate.
stuck a little bit. Descending most of the way through. Uppercut. Oh, he lost his Tommy. Part of it, but he's not getting full
Doesn't
points.
penetrate all the way through.
Again, not quite.
A descending cut also doesn't penetrate. And another descending cut does.
Good
Fighter,
job, Tim.
Nice job, Tim. Fighter does pull back at the end and deliver a cut that penetrates all the way through the tatami.
Good performance, Tim.
In fourth place, from South Coast Swords, Tim Magnuson.
Tim Magnuson, fourth place.
Yeah.
In third place, rose from his championship last year,
RJ McKeen,
RJ
third
McKeen
place.
takes third place.
Well done, sir.
Also from South Coast Swords. Confectula South Coast Swords being the full name.
close, very close, but this year's second place silver medalist, Shawn Franklin.
Shawn Franklin of Blood and Iron.
Second place.
Excellent performance.
And in first place, the man with more alligators than anyone I know.
Carl Bowler takes first place.
Wow, congratulations to him. And to KDF, Capital KDF.
Congratulations to Capital Kunstfechten. Jake, if you're watching, good job.
Huzzah.
And we have the CombatCon 2016 cutting champions. 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 Champions.